Natasha, and if you are watching this, you are most likely a Scorpio rising or know someone who is a Scorpio rising. So what is a rising sign or ascendant sign? It is basically when the sun was rising. This is the time you were born, location you were born, but the time you came out of the womb is going to print, a little astrological stamp as to the energies that you're stuck with in your little physical body, and it kind of dictates the order of the houses for your natal chart and how your energy is kind of presenting itself. Your rising sign or ascendant sign is also the mask that you put on to people you interact with or people who you've never met, and this is their first impression of you before they actually get to know you. It is also kind of like how you learn to survive in your childhood upbringing, and so this is just the role or mask that you put on in order to survive the environment that you were in your approach to that. But at the same time, your natal chart was created at the time you were born, before you even had any consciousness of how to navigate the people in your surroundings in this lifetime. So it's just fun and fascinating with how all of this kind of is real, Otherwise you probably wouldn't be watching this if you didn't believe in it at all. You're at least curious. So a Scorpio rising. So Scorpio is representing your first house of self, your personality, your physical body. This is kind of how you present yourself. You're presenting yourself as a fixed water sign, deeply emotional. You may come off as kind of controlling or very powerful, because Scorpio rules things that are hidden. It's power and control plays, things that normally come after marriage, and you have to kind of, beef it out a little bit with, things that come after marriage to come to a compromise. So it tends to have this kind of power and control energy to it, and it's a fixed emotional sign that is ruled by two planets, Mars and Pluto. So just having Mars be one of your rulers, that's an Aries ruler. So you and Aries have this Mars planet ruling who you are. So Mars is war. It's action oriented, how you assert yourself, your aggression, where you take action at, and it's very like assertive for themselves. They assert themselves and protect themselves or protect the people that they care about. Pluto also represents deep change and transformation. Things that are hidden and not brought to light, things that are secretive, or things that you do not see, and bringing it up to the surface to be realized, and then hopefully you fix it or come to a new awareness and realization, and you transform, and now you go through another cycle of change and transformation, or death and transformation, like metaphorically speaking. So this is kind of representing you, yourself, your personality, how you come off to other people. You can, or other people may see you as kind of like very intrusive, or you insert yourself into whatever they're doing, or kind of like have this kind of controlling, like you need to get in there, even though they may not have invited you in that space, or they're like, oh, I don't like you like that, and it's very repulsive, or what do you call it, like polarizing to them, and that might not be your intention, but your energy is very intense, because Fixated water, I like to present it like a power washer. If you ever power washed a driveway, I have, and I find it very meditative and it's kind of nice. If you see like a really dirty driveway that's just plaqued with black goo or whatever, and you have a power washer and you know how to fixate on one line at a time, it cleans all the crud, you know, and it looks brand new. So it transforms the driveway for something that looks like it's been neglected for 1,000 years, and it looks brand new all of a sudden with the power of water, fixated water. And that fixated water can hurt. And I've done this, and not wearing the proper shoes, or wearing sandals and accidentally brushing over my foot. Your foot is going to bleed. It doesn't look like a clean cut, but you know, it does leave a mark, or a nice red mark, you know. So it's very intense and fixated, intrusive. You can come off like a detective, or a conspiracy theorist, or very, very deeply emotional, or like the negative sides can be jealous, possessive, obsessive, wanting to be enmeshed with whomever you're interested in, or just like trying to navigate your way into their life or control their life. Or, you know, that is a presentation that you can bring. It doesn't mean you do, because it depends on where you are in life, how aware you are of, you know, like your unconscious motives, or your unconscious things that you just naturally do from your unhealed wounds, and why you do it or not. But this is the energy that you present, which is, in a nutshell, intense. And if someone really hurts you, if anyone hurts a Scorpio, it really, really hurts a Scorpio, because it's like the depth of the ocean. That's how deep it is. It's not like the surface level, it's super deep. And you really, really hurt a Scorpio, and a Scorpio will lash out and poke its little tail at you, scare you, and it's really scary. So super intense. So you have this energy within you. You can also be very kind of captivating, or someone who gives this aura of people want to be possessive over you. You know, it's also the opposite. So you can give this energy off to other people, as well as you might attract that kind of energy towards you, or you attract people who are super deep, or have very deep subconscious traits about them that kind of may change and transform your life. Either you change and transform their life, or they do that to you in order to kind of, you know, shed your skin and become anew, rise like a phoenix, you know, feel like you died a multitude of times, but you're very resilient and you come back up stronger, you know. So that is this kind of scorpionic energy. You can come off as someone who is very stable financially, or you care about finances, or your approach to finances is with like investments in some sort of way, whether that is investing in the stock market, or investing in another person who is wealthy or has a lot of wealth, or you're someone who what do you call it, invest in things that are going to grow and build for yourself. So anything that deals with that, because Scorpio rules taxes, death, inheritances, in-laws, joint resources, things that you join with someone else, things that you can collaborate and join in order to make more money. It's sex or the sexual reproductive organs. So you can come off as very sexual, or you give this aura of being sexy, or just like powerful. So that is just kind of the personality type, or how you kind of look, or the energy that you give off or you attract is like this first house. Mostly it's you, but usually people are kind of a reflector of ourselves in order to become more aware. So we click with people who are similar with us. So you may attract people who have this kind of Scorpio energy if they're kind of in line with you. And if they're not, they're just kind of repelled, or they just kind of distance themselves in some way. Your fourth house is most likely ruled by Aquarius if you do not have any duplications or interceptions in your chart. A duplication is basically like one zodiac sign is ruling two houses. Sometimes one zodiac sign can rule like three houses. And so that depends on your specific natal chart. But if you do not have any of that, and you have one zodiac ruling one house each of all 12, then most likely Aquarius falls into your fourth house. So that means most likely your childhood upbringing had this kind of Aquarian kind of energy to it. So kind of unconventional in some way, or not the way most other kids grew up. There's some kind of non-traditional way that you were brought up or raised. Maybe, you know, like your parents gave, you know, you were born, and maybe they just couldn't take care of you, and an uncle took care of you and adopted you. So you were actually raised by your aunt and uncle, not at all by your birth parents, or you were a foster kid, or you know, you lived abroad, or your parents sent you to boarding school when you were 10, and then you didn't really see your parents until, you know, you just saw them occasionally until after college. So you had a very unconventional upbringing in some way, shape, or form. And you had some kind of Aquarius knows, or just naturally it kind of dissociates from their emotions, or there's a strong off switch. So you have emotions, of course. Aquarius energy has emotions, but they also come off as kind of aloof sometimes, or not very emotional, or they know how to separate their emotions from whatever their passions and individualistic, unique things that they want to do. And in order to do those things, or cure cancer, and they need to be focused on their whatever pursuits, what they're interested in. Sometimes you have to cut off your emotions and not worry about those things in order to get the work done. So there can be some kind of futuristic kind of emotions are not quite there. They are there, but there's some kind of disconnect happening with emotions. And home and upbringing is a lot about communication and intelligence, or like, how intelligent are you? That is of importance. Or friendships. Your family upbringing could have had a lot of focus on friendships and the networks of your parents or family. So there may have been a lot of people, or there was a focus on humanitarian rights in some kind of way. Perhaps you lived unconventionally in some kind of environmental resort thing, or a tiny home, or like in the forest, or you lived on a small boat and you were homeschooled, and you know, like anything like that can apply in some way, whether it's small or more extreme, you know. So that's the energy of that. Yeah. You might, in adult life, you may have a focus on technology in your home, like you want high-tech stuff in your home, or you're very future thinking or future oriented in your home and how you raise your children, or how your home and family life is just going to be unconventional in some sort of way. Whether maybe you get married and along the line you don't sleep in the same bed together, you sleep in 2 separate rooms, not because you don't love each other, but the other one snores so much that you need your sleep in order to do your work, or your schedules are completely different. One works day shift, the other works night shift. There's just something unconventional about that. Your 7th house is most likely ruled by Taurus, so you tend to click with or be attracted to people who have this Taurus quality in them, whether they're literally a Taurus or they just have this kind of aura or archetype about them that has strong Taurus energy about them. So Taurus energy is about emotional stability, which and financial stability, which may feel, this is the feeling, far away from yourself, because Scorpio can be like deeply dramatic, or going through deep waves of emotion and ups and downs in emotion. So being attracted to this Taurus kind of archetype is just kind of this stable flat line of stability, like emotional stability, someone who's like a rock. Even though they have emotions, they feel all the ups and downs of emotions too, but their aura and presentation is that they have resilience and they can still remain calm and stable regardless of what emotional stuff is going on. And of course, you need to look at the rest of your birth chart placements to see if you are balanced. What is helping you to feel more stable, or do you have a lot of planets in other signs that kind of encourage more emotional instability, so you're even more attracted to people who have this Taurus archetype. If you have no Taurus energy, literally, like actual signs and stuff. Other people, because 7th house is your relationships of other. Naturally, Libra rules this house. Other people can see you as this Taurus archetype. So people may see you as financially stable. They may see you that you have materialistically nice things, like you have nice handbags, nice shoes, nice suits, or nice dresses, a nice house. Things look pleasant and nice. And it looks financially stable and emotionally stable to the other people, So that is the energy of your 7th house. So these people kind of help ground you, or you're trying to learn from being around these people, almost like they are your role models that you did not really get in childhood. Or they help you feel more stable and grounded, because Taurus is a fixed earth sign, so they're super solid and very slow moving, or that is the perception of them. If if you don't have a lot of Taurus in your chart already, they may feel like very boring, plain, it's the same thing all the time. So that is stability. Like emotionally, stability may feel very boring, and actually that's probably a good thing. It's not chaotic and unpredictable, it's steady and predictable. And that is kind of sometimes boring to some people, depending on how you were raised and your childhood, if it was chaotic or not. or healthy or not. And then your 10th house is most likely ruled by Leo. So your work, so your 10th house rules your work, your career, as well as your public image, or the people, how the world kind of sees you, or how they want to see you as. So they see you as someone who leads with the heart, or has a big heart, who is a natural born leader. People just naturally follow you or will listen to you in some sort of a way. Leo energy is also kind of grand, or kind of this look at me energy. So you may be like an entertainer or very creative, or you have this aura about you that is just like, wow, look at me. You don't even have to try or anything. It's not like your purpose of trying to be seen in that way, or it can be. It's kind of this look of almost like an actor, singer, people who are on stage or on TV in some way, shape, or form. Like they see you as someone who is entertaining or has presentation, professionalism in some way, or as a leader. You lead a group of people regardless of what you do, and if that's not anything to do with entertainment, you are seen. Or if you are not seen, you want to be seen in your career. You want to be noticed, you want to be respected, you want to be seen and valued in your career, or you want to have a leadership role in your career. Maybe you don't want that, but you naturally have this energy of performance, presentation, leadership, big heart, creativity in the house of career for you. You might not like it when your career teammates kind of outshine you, or you may find that people in your career sector do not like it when you outshine them. So just watch out for that. Leo is also drama. You may find that you have a lot of drama that just happens to go on in the workplace, regardless of if that is something you did or not. Maybe you unconsciously are not aware that you kind of took part in that. So it just depends on your situation and your perception of how things are playing out for you. But it could be drama in the workplace, like people just don't want you to outshine them, or you secretively don't want other people to outshine you. So maybe you purposely kind of hide or back out or whatever. If you feel like you're not good enough or you're not being seen, you're like, you know what, I quit because I'm not being seen and valued, so I'm going to go somewhere else where I am seen and valued for my expertise, so it's that energy. Just like about a bunch of actors trying to win the Oscar, or like Leonardo DiCaprio. He did a lot of really great deep work, and it took him forever to get that Oscar, like wanting to be recognized and seen for the deep hearted work that he put into his performances. So it has that kind of quality or energy to it. Your 12th house, or how your subconscious mind kind of operates, or what you focus on, is in Libra. That is the sign right before Scorpio of yourself. So in your mind, whether you are aware of it or not, has some kind of Libra quality to it in your subconscious mind, of dreams, thinking, and where you like to also isolate. You may like to escape to things that are aesthetically pleasing to you, or you like to shop or splurge, be involved with things that are just, they look good, looks dreamy, romantic, girl next door, boy next door, or you think about things that are fair and just. because Libra is the scales or the judge. You're always thinking about, what is fair, what is balanced, and you're always focused on relationships. Relationships are important to you, or they're always on your mind, whether they're a burden or not. Relationships in some way, shape, or form are of importance, or how do you please or be accepted by other people. Your subconscious mind is basically ruled by other people, because Libra represents the house of other, so other people may dictate kind of how you feel that day or the rest of the week, and that may bring up this kind of Scorpio archetype of kind of feeling kind of up and down, because your sense of self is kind of dictated by other people in some sort of way, or you're kind of holding back or putting yourself last in order to accommodate the needs and wants of other people. And so when you're kind of neglecting yourself, that's gonna make you kind of feel emotionally unstable in some sort of way, because there's kind of a limit of how much we kind of overgive or allow someone else to get their way. And so when we kind of overdo it, whether we're over allowing or over sacrificing, over self-sacrificing ourselves, and we reach this boiling point of we feel now kind of used and abused or neglected or whatever, even though that wasn't necessarily the intention of the other person, but you had this focus or Libra energy of caring about other people so much, or being so understanding, or trying to be so harmonious and pleasant that now you might fall trapped to neglecting yourself and your needs, and now you might act out, because Scorpio can do that, or they feel so hurt, and other people don't realize how much you've sacrificed or whatever you're hurting, and you don't feel heard or seen, and now you've kind of created this self-induced emotional instability. So that is just something to kind of be aware of if that is something for you, and if not, it is not, okay? Most likely your second house is ruled by Sagittarius, so your second house is usually your own personal finances, your own self-worth, self-esteem. And Sagittarius is kind of flighty a little bit. It's very movable. It's kind of into one thing, and then it gets sick of it and goes off to another thing, or it's learning a lot about one thing, and then they learned about it. They feel very optimistic about it, and then they get distracted, and then they're like, "Ooh, let's go over here and learn about this other thing over here." So you can learn to grow your personal finances a lot by learning from either literal people or online or professionals, and it has this optimistic quality to it, like the glass is half full. Look at the positive side to finances, like what you do have, not what you don't have, and how to grow and build, and how you learned how to do that, as well as what you learn in order to build your own self-worth, self-esteem, because Sagittarius is this kind of guru, teacher, philosophical zodiac sign being put into your second house. Your third house is most likely ruled by Capricorn. So your third house naturally rules your siblings, your close cousins, or the people who are nearby you, the people that you grew up with, or your peers at school. You might notice that these people that are just in your kind of local little bubble tend to have this Capricorn energy to them, whether they are actual Capricorns or they have this kind of ambitious, they work really hard to get up to the top. They have a lot of setbacks and delays, but they keep pushing through and persevering. Or they're very practical, responsible, or they have to be very restrictive, perhaps. They have to take care of a lot of things. They have a lot of responsibilities, or they have to be kind of restrictive in some way, shape, or form, whether that's their finances or their time, whatever. You may find that these people tend to surround you. Like, they don't have a lot of time. They're very busy. They have a lot of responsibilities. This can be your communication style and learning style. So how you learn, like, you had to work really, really hard to get to wherever you are now, depending on what your age is. Like, you have to learn, have a lot of setbacks, delays, lessons, burdens, obstacles, over and over and over again, but you keep pushing through and persevering to make it, even though it's hard. Whatever you're learning, reading, writing, communicating, speaking, all of those things is very hard, but you climbed up kind of to the top in that way. You can also communicate in a Capricorn mature kind of way, very kind of stoic, professional, and responsible in your communication and writing style. Your fifth house is most likely ruled by Pisces. So fifth house is traditionally ruled by Leo. It is our play house, our house of children, creativity, self-expression, our presentation, how we express ourselves, as well as casual dating, casual sex, casual drinking, everything lighthearted, team building, icebreakers, getting to know someone in the very beginning. That's not super deep, like Scorpio is super deep or intimate and vulnerable. So it's kind of not vulnerable. So you may find that people that you have come across in the dating realm have this kind of Pisces quality to them, where you attract this energy in some way, shape, or form. So they can come off very spiritual or very mysterious, dreamy, or they're very romantic. You love romantic dating style, or you like to kind of escape into a dream fantasy in your relationships, whether that is the reality for you or that what you kind of wish for is this kind of fantasy, mysterious quality to your dating partners, dating relationships, or how you express yourself is kind of mysterious, or like you're a mermaid, or, you know, like a princess, fairy tale, damsel in distress, or you're just very spiritual. You attract a lot of spiritual people in your dating relationships, or you can come across very manipulative. Pisces also is kind of no boundaries or manipulative. They're trying to, they know how to play with emotions. They're a very wise sign. This energy, that does not mean the literal Pisces zodiac sign is that way. Everyone has their own choice in direction of how they have come to who they are, but you can come across people who have this kind of covert manipulative quality, or emotionally manipulative, or they lack boundaries. They're not clear in some way, shape, or form with their communication or what they want, or they don't know what they want. They just want fantasy, good time, or they're attracted to mysterious people in order to get their own needs met, or they're just doing that to try and get you. So just be aware of that if that is the case for you. Your sixth house is most likely ruled by Aries. So sixth house normally rules, Virgo rules the sixth house normally, and that is our day-to-day routine, our habits, lists, details. Did you brush your teeth every single day? It's our little habits, and our pets. And so you have this Aries energy approach to your day-to-day life. So you have a very fast, impulsive, abrupt, speedy kind of approach to your day-to-day routine in life. You're always on the go, or you have to be passionate about what you're doing, or you might lose interest in it, because Aries is one of the ones that kind of they're really good at starting things but have a hard time finishing what they start, as a cardinal fire sign. You know, so kind of an entrepreneurial spirit on the day-to-day, but can lose interest kind of fast, or very blunt and brutal in some way, or very quick. You need super fast, super speedy, you need the shortcut, or, you know, you don't want a long list of things to do. They need to be kind of quick and get it over with. Or if you have chores to do, you need to feel like you're into doing it. Otherwise, you're just not going to do it at all, because Aries is kind of like, yeah, I really feel like cleaning the whole house today. And if they don't feel like cleaning it, like, I'm just not going to do it. I don't feel like it. Kind of hot-headed, or kind of it's one-sided. It's like, I don't care if it's my turn to clean the house. I just don't feel like cleaning the house today. So I know it's my turn, but I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. I don't feel good today. You know, so it's just kind of that kind of energy. Or whatever you do for work, because it's one of the work houses, your second, 6th, and 10th house. You have to feel passionate about what you do in your career on a day-to-day basis. You like to learn, you have to be passionate about it, and it has to be kind of fiery in some way, shape, or form. Or your day-to-day routine is very fast-paced. You could be like a waitress, and you're a very busy waitress or bartender, or you see like 90 to 100 patients a day if you're like a doctor, and everyone gets like 10 minutes, you know, so super fast and quick. Or you have to think on the fly. You have to really know your stuff, and you kind of look, you analyze, and you quickly decide on what you need to do. Or you're an ER doctor or something like that. Super fast. You go into it like it's a war zone, and you have to fight for a cause and solve problems, and it's done. You move on to the next thing. That's just the energy of your 6th house. It doesn't have to be literal, of course. Your 8th house is most likely ruled by Gemini. So 8th house rules things that come after marriage or joint resources, death, taxes, inheritances, other people's money, other people's resources or stuff, your in-laws. So it has this Gemini quality to it. So you may like to talk a lot about your joint resources, inheritances. You need to communicate a lot, or learn about these things in order for it to grow, or what's going on, like what is the reality of this and that. Or you talk a lot, or get the scoop and gossip about other people's secrets and home life, you know, and you know, what is not very obvious on the surface. You know how to, or you naturally kind of are very curious about what's actually going on, and getting to know, you know, what the skeletons in the closet of either your own relationships and joint resources, as well as other people's, like how do they do it? How do they invest their money, or how did they pay off their debt, you know? And you know this information by being curious about their stuff or their financial matters in some way, whether it's good or bad. So that's the 8th house energy. You can be gossipy or talk about your romantic partner's body or the way they perform in the bedroom. It's kind of, Gemini is this kind of gossipy energy, or like to talk a lot, or like trying to relieve whatever is bothering you, and is secretive to someone who you trust or to a therapist, for instance. But it's just kind of this learning energy in the 8th house. You can learn how to be a better sexual partner, or you can learn a lot from your in-laws. You know, like they teach you a lot of things, and you just didn't know about it, you know, unless you kind of were involved with them or got to know them. Your 9th house is most likely ruled by Cancer. So you are very nurturing and kind of caring. This is where you care. You care about your belief systems, your religion, your higher learning, your higher education. You care a lot about this area in your life, and you like to nurture it. Your 11th house is most likely ruled by Virgo. So your 11th house is normally ruled by Aquarius, or Aquarius normally rules the 11th house of friendships, networks, and technology. And so you may find that you have a lot of friends or networks who have this kind of Virgo quality in them, which is health. They're either in healthcare in some way, shape, or form, or they have some kind of how can I help you, because Virgo is an acts of service sign, or you have friends who love pets and animals, or you have friends who are very detail oriented and perfectionist in some way, shape, or form, or notices the details, you know, are very discerning. They can kind of pick out things that someone who may be a little bit more quick and oblivious, or not as detail oriented, might not pick up on. So you may be surrounded by friends and networks who are in healthcare, who are detail oriented, notice the fine print, notice the fine detail, maybe very critical or criticizing, and perfectionist, even OCD. You may notice that these are the group of people that you kind of gravitate towards, or they gravitate towards you, or your friends see you as this kind of Virgo archetype as well. So it works both ways. So that concludes my analysis on Scorpio rising. I hope you found this very informative. If you're not familiar with astrology quite yet, as you know, it provides very insightful, creative tools to help create like a deeper understanding of yourself as well as other people, because they have their own chart and their own problems. So if you like to book a personal birth chart reading, you can go to my website, which is in the description box below, www.natashascreativewellness.com. And you can go to the scheduling section, book the earliest time, as it's a pre-recorded reading. You just need your date, full date of birth, your full location of where you're born, city, state, country, if that applies, and the time you were born, AM and PM, or PM, because that is important to get the actual accuracy of your chart. And I will get that to you as soon as possible. You can also purchase merchandise on my website, yoga mats or other things, journals, if you want to support me on a small scale, please. This is from old paintings that I've done, because I have a art background. I also have a master's in mental health counseling. That's why I like wellness. I'm also a personal trainer. Have trained people full-time for 10 years. So I like everything wellness and helping people just evolve and grow. Also fitness, if you want to check out my fitness page, Natasha Greenwood or fit_Tasha Flex. That part is going to be over there that I just started. So please check that out if you're interested as I develop that side. If you want that kind of information, as well as it applies or helps with your whole mental and physical well-being. So yeah, please like and subscribe to help boost my channel. Share this with someone that you may, or they may find that it is helpful in some way, or check out the playlist down below and send them their ascendant sign or zodiac sign to get deeper insights. Sometimes this form of analyzing is kind of a deeper way of healing, as it's kind of like we didn't do this to ourselves, it happened to us, and there's a higher reason for it, just for us to evolve as a soul and overcome whatever challenges we were sent here to do. Or if we get a spiritual break in this lifetime, then you got a break. And if you didn't, well, you may be seeking something deep like astrology in order to make it through, or find strength in just how in the world can I make it, you know. And for the next 20 years, you are going to be having Pluto transit your 4th house in Aquarius. If you are watching this video within that Pluto and Aquarius transit, so you're going to go through major psychological change and awareness in your childhood upbringing, your home and family and the people in it, and how that is going to change and transform you, your relationships, and your career as it's squaring those houses for you. So please book a reading, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.